Alright everyone, a large proportion of the Runescape user base is extremely concerned because Jagex is hosting a Gay Pride Day on Runescape, and so some players are planning to hold like a riot, I guess, in Falador. If you don't know anything about Runescape, you have no clue what I'm talking about. You might as well turn the video off, because, unless you just want to be entertained by a little bit of a rant. Essentially what's happened is people aren't upset about the idea of actually gay people are having a Pride Day. They're upset because they think this might be RuneScape going the social justice warrior path and, doing that thing where every sort of social movement ends up with its own celebratory day. So I think nobody has a problem with this in a vacuum. I think they have a problem with the idea that you're going to end up with like Black Lives Matter Day on RuneScape, or like Trans Rights Day, or like, women aged 20 to 22 day or something like that. Increasingly small little chunks of humanity that get celebrated. When really, does the game ultimately need to have that much of a social message? Or is it something that people grind on to pass the time? And they're trying to get their level 99s. They're trying to get the completionist cape. They're trying to do all the quests and stuff variously. 120 Slayer or Dungeoneering. It's really about the latter. That's how I see RuneScape. I'm not there for any social message. But that being said, I don't really care if they do this, because I'm going to ignore the event. I don't care if there's like a rainbow in Falador or something like that. It doesn't matter. I won't be protesting the day because who fucking cares? Doesn't matter. And I say this as somebody who pays for membership on RuneScape. I'm not saying this as someone who just plays the free game. I've actually paid money to play it. I don't really have a problem with it. It's not costing me more. I'm not having to pony up $5.99 to host a Gay Pride Day on RuneScape. It doesn't really concern me. It certainly doesn't offend me. I would say, though, I do kind of sympathize with people who worry that it's going to end up going further than that, because that can happen. You see that on sites from time to time, that what is originally billed as a one-off ends up going a lot further. And apparently they had no poll on whether they should do this, and so users are upset. The RuneScape fan base is more than it seems most fan bases within sort of the massive multiplayer online stuff. More cued into wanting polls and player participation with events. Much, much more concerned with wanting player participation in content. And therefore, it's probably not the greatest idea in the world for Jagex to continue with the experiment. I may not have a problem with it. Most players may not. But if you get a bunch of users that start clogging up different worlds, rioting and spamming text, it adversely affects the game. And what Jagex could end up having happen is that the media, which loves to make clickbait sort of news, will zero in on the fact that some people are saying homophobic things on RuneScape. They'll extrapolate that to mean, oh, RuneScape is like the new alt-right video game or something like that, and they'll do a bunch of write-ups on it and get all the soccer moms riled up. I would tell him that that's the risk that is run in inserting such an event on a game and having a reaction, which is being fed partially by Reddit, some Reddit users that happen to play the game. It could become a problem, a fairly big problem for the game, a game that already has some issues, namely, I play RS7. A lot of people like old school RuneScape. It seems to be about an even number of players playing both. It's obvious that the updated, new and improved style of RuneScape didn't fully take off. A lot of people like it for the nostalgia of the old graphics and gameplay and so forth. I don't mind. I never have played old school RuneScape, so I guess I just don't know what I'm missing, and I don't want to, I don't care. But RuneScape does have some issues, it seems. It's like people, they complain about some new additions, like Manafos, the big sort of unveiling of that. I see it as fundamentally useless. It's just another Varrock, basically, with a few missions that sort of tie into it. Yes, it's a new place to explore. Is it that much new content? No, I'd rather them introduce a new skill, or lift the level 99 cap on some other skills, add other content that's related to gameplay, more than just another location. That's my main concern with the game. That being said, I'm going to keep subscribing to RuneScape and paying to be a member. I'm not going to suddenly cancel because they have a Gay Pride Day, because it really, at the end of the day, doesn't matter to me. No, not really. But I can understand why some people would be upset, I suppose. It is just a game, after all. When games end up injected with social messages, sometimes, unless it is subtle or it has to do with the overall plot, like you'd think of Fallout and sort of the revolutionary message that tends to be in there, that works. That makes sense. You have something that's already beloved by, like, the social justice warriors. You insert a social message there, it's just fine. RuneScape's not a social justice warrior game. It's an online game where people go to mine their mithril and grind Slayer monsters. It has nothing to do with any social message. Now, the only social message I've ever really perceived in the whole quests thing was sort of the global warming message. I can't remember the quest name. It was the one where the dwarves, one of those dwarves was trying to use like dragon fire or something for a smelting process or some shit. And they're like, oh, it's melting the ice on the mountains. It's going to destroy RuneScape or something. You know, it was kind of cheesy a little bit. It was a little bit over the top, honestly. But again, it doesn't matter. Just play the game. Quit complaining. But Jagex does need to keep that in mind, that if enough people speak out and it becomes newsworthy, people are going to pile on RuneScape and it'll probably kill the game off, honestly. Yeah, they could have that problem. Especially, isn't RuneScape based in the UK or some bullshit anyway? So they've got all sorts of censorship stuff. I'm surprised people don't get, like, gulagged because they say homophobia or something like that. That's about all. Peace out.